Hi, my name is Zoe. I am here to review my top 5 books from last year, 2025. I just felt like it'd be fun to kind of talk about them and put it out there and see if maybe they're good recs for other people. Most of them are pretty popular though, so I'd be surprised if you hadn't heard of them or read them yet. But yeah, just thought I would put my little 2 cents in because I love reading I love watching book reviews. But yeah, anyway, last year I read 57 books, which was very good for me. I am not typically a really big reader. I think the last 3 years I've read around 50, but then before that was 3. So it's just a big change in my life, which has been really fun. I like totally immersing myself into other people's stories. It's anything that's emotional and something I'm not familiar with, I really like to read. Yeah, I got into it, and now I feel like I can say what I do and don't like. I think when you get into reading, you start reading books and you're like, yeah, I like that. That was 5 stars. That was 5 stars. Everything is 5 stars. I finished the book. That's 5 stars. So I don't know. I think now I'm a bit more I think about it and process the book and see if I really want to give it 5 stars. Anyway, my list. I guess let's get into it. So for my 5th favorite book, I picked Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. It's a fiction novel. I think it's literary fiction. It's beautifully written. I really loved it. I gave it a 4.5. And I listened to it on audiobook. I didn't physically read the book, but it was so well written, so well told. It's really twisted and dark and cold and such a vibe. It's a mystery, so you're kind of the whole time thinking, but I really feel that's kind of more of a subplot. I know it's kind of the main plot, but not really. It feels like the story is trying to tell you so much more. It's trying to talk about climate change and talk about family dynamics and relationships and tragedy and loss and grief, and yeah, you just get really close and personal with each character. You get multiple POVs. It's just, yeah, it's really fun. I've heard a lot of good things, so it's not that surprising that it was a good book, but it was just so fun to read in a very sad, cold, because they were in a cold place. Yeah, but I would totally recommend. The ending I did not guess, and it was just really fun it was a good read. Anyway, moving on. Okay, coming at number 4 is A Vow of Embers by Sarah Wilson. So this is number 2 in a series. I think it's a trilogy. And the first one is called Tribute of Fire. And that was I got through the for free through the Amazon First Reads or whatever. And those can be hit or miss. Sometimes they're really good and sometimes they're not so good. And this one was just really good. The first book, though, is kind of slow, world building. You're really getting to know the character, or the main character. And I think it's mostly all in her POV. I think the whole thing is in her POV. But you kind of don't know what's happening in the story in the first book. And I think I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. So I was that was good enough that I'll read the second one. And I read it with a group of friends, and so we were all really excited for the second one. And the second one was so good. It was so good. The relationship building and the character development, the world makes more sense. Yeah, it just felt a really well-rounded story. And technically, I think it has a romance, but that's more of a subplot in the first one, and then the second one kind of develops this romance in a way. And Oh, it's so good. Like, it's just, they like enemies to lovers, but like on another level because they really don't like each other, but they definitely like each other. So it's, I don't know, it was just really good. I liked the writing. I thought it just, I was so excited to read it, which is what you want in a book. I thoroughly enjoyed it and will definitely be reading the third. The third one came out in December, I think, so definitely on the TBR for 2026. But yeah, super good. I would totally recommend. It's so underrated. I don't think anyone's talking about it, which is crazy to me because it was like free. Okay, so for the third one, we have a very popular book that somehow seems like some people like it, some people don't. Anyway, I picked Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. That is the third book in the Imperium series, and the fourth wing is the first book. And so that's like a very popular series right now. That's what actually got me into reading a couple years ago when fourth one came out. My sister had mentioned it, and then I found it in some like free book thing on the side of the road, and I was like, I think I know that book. Like, I'm pretty sure my sister was like asking for this book. And so I like picked it up and I told her, and I was like, I'll read it. And then I read it and I gobbled it up, like couldn't stop, like loved it. I was so obsessed with Satan. I could not handle how this book made me feel. Like, I was like, how does a book make you so obsessed over a fictional character? So I was enthralled. And anyway, so this book, Onyx Storm specifically, has a lot of, I don't know, the world just gets so much bigger. Everything feels really new, and like you're learning everything for the first time, which I don't think a lot of people liked. And the ending is like a super big cliffhanger, and you're like waiting for the next one. And so I think that people were like a little frustrated because it felt like more like a middle to like an arc book, because I think there's supposed to be 5. But I don't know, like, I loved the world expansion of it. I loved the dragons. I loved the magic that was being developed. I loved the backstories of each character. I felt like so many new characters got like their shining moment in this book. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm so excited for the next one. I think this will forever be like one of my favorite series of all time. I love a book that gets you like thinking and like makes you want to like theorize on it and listen to other people's theories. And yeah, it's just like, that's the fun of this. It brings people together. Anyway, so yes, that's number 3, because yeah, I don't know if it was my favorite. I think it was my favorite out of the 3, honestly. I love Fourth Wing because that's like nostalgic for me in a way. Like, it's my bread and butter of how I got here, so I will forever love that book. But the third one just felt like Violet really was more of a character, and I actually liked her. The first 2 are just kind of like, oh my god, just grow up a little bit for me, just a little. But she does, and I really liked it. Okay, moving on from Fourth Wing. Okay, so we have, oh my gosh, I did my top 6. Ha! I love that for me. Okay, moving. Okay, we're gonna go to the top 3. Third book now that I'm realizing this is not my top 5, it's my top 6. So I picked Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That was the last book I read last year, like December 31st. I physically read that one. I have a physical copy, but I gifted it to my mother-in-law. I just thought it was really well done. I had never read anything by that author before, so it was like new to me. I knew she's a very popular writer, so I knew it was gonna be pretty good. I just didn't know if I was gonna like her writing style. And this book was amazing, like so good. I literally like the beginning, you're kind of like, okay, you know, go women, like a really exciting premise about like astronauts and going to space and being the first woman to go to space, and yeah, that's cool. And then people, like, you know, obviously it says like atmosphere, a love story or something. And I was just like, what's the love story? And then I loved that I didn't know who it was gonna be, like, right off the bat. You read a romance novel, and it's like, oh, this person shows up, oh, that's the meet cute, like, oh, that's gotta be it. And it, like, kind of felt that way, but you were kind of like, I don't know. But then, oh my god, the story just, like, develops, and these characters fall in love, and you're just like, this is so good. And then the ending, and you know where, because it starts, like, with a, current, and you get flashbacks for a while, and then you go back to current, so you kind of know where it's going. And, man, the ending. Whew. I would, like, close the book and literally just bawled, like, flat out sobbed, ugly cry, like, on top of the book. It was utterly embarrassing if anyone were there. Yeah, but it was so good. I was like, wow, can't believe that book just made me feel that way. Anyway, okay, now we're going to my top 2 out of 6, because I can't count. Yes, after Fourth Wing, my sister was, like, obsessed with, like, the Sergi Maas, like, universe, and so I, like, slowly have been going through all of those books. I'm a Team Throne Glass girl because that series was so good, but I read Crescent City last year, like all 3 books, and I picked House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas as my number 2 because I loved the book. I had never read an urban fantasy before, and so it was all new to me, and like her writing style is very different in this, and just seeing like modern technology and also like all the different forms of magical creatures that like were involved. It was just like really fun, and then there were just like multiple moments where she like pulls your heart out and like stomps on it and like puts it back together, and so I felt really like emotionally involved in this story, and the ending was really good, and it just like all worked for me. I liked it a lot, like a lot. And then I read the second one, which this is not a review for those, but just briefly. The second one was also very good. I liked the story. I think it was kind of too long, but I still really liked it. I think I gave it like a 4 just because it just wasn't at the level of the first book for me. And then the third book was just, oh my god, it was treacherous to get through. I just was like, I just want this to end. Like, I really want this to end. It felt like so unnecessary. It just, yeah, it was unfortunate. But I can't believe there's more that are going to come out. But I think I still gave it a 3-star. Like, I still love Sarah. I still love her writing. I probably will still read it. Anyway, camera decided to stop recording. But, okay, and then for my final book is my number 1 book of the 2025 is Alchemised. It was so good by SenLinYu, and I am obsessed with that book. Like, I read it in like a week. It's like 1,100 pages or something, and I had a physical copy, and I just kept on going. I'll give it my first like 6 out of 5 stars, like god tier level book. I had never read anything kind of like it. It's like a dark fantasy war, lots of magic system, alchemized alchemy. Yeah, it's like I'd never experienced something like that. And it's just so moving. The whole story is so heartbreaking and sad, but like also like you're hopeful, and every time you think something is gonna happen, it doesn't, and you're just, yeah, the writing style is just gorgeous. The effort that went into building this world is, you could just tell it took forever. And yeah, the story is just, it's similar to like Atmosphere, which is kind of funny, where it like starts with like modern day, then you go do flashbacks for a while, and then you come back to like where you know you're gonna end up, and you're just like waiting for it to make sense. You're like, there has to be something good here, right? Like, yeah, no, I definitely think it's a really good war story that just proves that war is never good. There's no knight in shining armor that's gonna come save the day at the end. Like, war is an ongoing battle for a really long time, and you have to work really hard to rebuild and to fight for what you believe is right, but other people also don't agree with you, and so many conflicting things. And I just really liked it because it felt like when you start the story, you're like, there's an obvious bad guy, there's an obvious bad side, and there's an obvious good side. And then you're like halfway through and you're kind of like, is it obvious? Maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. That I pondered on that book for like weeks after. I just sat with myself and was like, what is this? Like, wow. So yes, that was for sure. It might be my favorite book of all time. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, I would totally recommend it if you like it. Definitely read trigger warnings for it, because some people were a bit annoyed with it, and I totally see that part. But I also think that the story was built, like, I mean, it's a tough story. Like, nothing really good is happening, so I kind of was expecting the worst to happen. So yeah, but yeah, I think that if you're into anything kind of remotely emotionally draining, then you should definitely give it a shot, because it's a really good story, and it's the author's like first novel. I know that like it was based off of a fanfic or whatever, but I don't even like saying that, because I read the fanfic after I read Alchemised, and I don't know, it just, the Alchemised hits so well. Like, it's just so well done that, like, you could tell that they worked really hard to like make this perfect. So yes, I totally am on the bandwagon of it being perfect. But yeah, anyway, those are my top 6 books apparently, because can't count. But I highly recommend all of them. Hopefully you've read them. If you haven't, you should definitely give them a try. But yeah, let me know if you do, and we'll see you for next time. I think I'll probably do a January summary, and of like all the books, because I've read quite a few just in this month. Very excited about reading. But yeah, okay. See ya!